The following content is intended for a mature audience only. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Boom, boom. We're on British Bears, coming to you from another land. The British Bears Show, another kind of fan. Bears fans all day, Bears fans all night, 365 days, 5,000 miles away. Hey, hey, hey! The British Bears, the Irish Bears, the German Bears, the Polish Bears. Wait, what? We are Bears. We are Bears. We are Bears fans. Hey! The British Bears. The British Bears. Welcome to the British Bears.
Welcome to the British Bears Show. And now your hosts, C-Dub and Jason UK Bears.
Well, thank you for that very nice intro, Walter Payton. We're back after the first preseason game against Cleveland Browns. How are you boys doing, Jason? How are you? I've heard that you two Southern softies are feeling a bit ill tonight. Obviously, we don't get illness up north. If anybody up north gets ill, we die instantly because the illness will be that severe. So how are you doing, Jason, today, mate?
Yeah, a little bit shabby today, but I'm good. It's all fine. Bears win. Looking forward to next week. Football's back. So, yeah, I'm good.
Good. And yourself, Dave?
Yeah, all good down here, brother. Just sat in the garden about half hour ago. Clouds are coming over. We're hoping for some rain, aren't we, Jason, down here, mate?
So it feels like it. It's long overdue. But yeah.
Yeah, we had a little bit today. We've had a little bit yesterday, but God, you've had it so hot down south, man. It's been bad enough up here, but it's just been so relentless for you guys down south. Anyway, enough of the British weather broadcasting. We're not here to talk about weather, even though that is probably an Englishman's probably second or first most favourite topic to talk about is the British weather, innit? We do it because we have weather. Do you know what I mean? So we're not like California. We have weather, so it's something to talk about. Do you know what I mean? And also as well, it's sort of quite good if you haven't really got much to say to that person. If you don't really know them all, I'll just mention the weather. It was nice on it yesterday, and that's at least a couple of minutes of life gone. So yeah. Anybody in the chat? Yeah, I'm having a look now.
Yeah, we guess there's people who are just coming in, I guess, slowly as they do. Peanut Head is in there, first one in the chat. And then Armando is there, of course. Great to see you, mate. And as everyone else just comes in, yeah, good. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And look forward to joining in with us.
Cool. Right, then, well, let's kick off then. The Chicago Bears beat the Cleveland Browns 34-10 on Saturday at Soldiers Field. And it looked like they had quite a decent crowd then as well to see the game. I mean, I personally thought, well, we'll just sort of do a general overview and then we'll go into the offense. I mean, I just thought that the Bears has controlled the game from start to finish. That's why the title of the show is Taking Care of Business. TCB, as Elvis's entourage used to say. So, we just sort of controlled it. But we'll start off like we usually do with the offense. Passing, Burgent with the first quarterback out. He went 13 out of 22 for 169 yards, 1 TD and 1 touchdown. Keenan with the next one in. He went at 9 out of 10 for 151 yards and 2 tutties. And then Moss, who I believe used to back up Caleb Williams when he played his university team, UFC. Mind blank then. And then Moss went 3 out of 8 for 48 yards. What were your sort of thoughts of the passing game, especially sort of Bajan, Jason?
Yeah, he said afterwards in the press, didn't he was disappointed, and I think he knows he can do better. To be fair, he didn't look too sharp, did he? But they're blowing the cobwebs out. Disappointed with a couple of sacks as well, but one of them was Jedrick Wills, wasn't it? He just absolutely whipped the guy just clotheslined Bajent, but he'll be disappointed with that performance. But it's a start, and he was going to get the start, and I think he'll settle into the next one. I don't think, although I heard just today he's pulled a hamstring, hasn't he, in that game? So I don't know how bad it is. Bajent, he wasn't in training today.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Just found out that today that it's mentioned that he's pulled a hammy. They didn't say how bad, so it's just going to be a day-to-day one for now. As far as we know, until we get a presser, we won't know. So, he's got a little hamstring injury. So it may be Case Keenum and Miller Moss, depending on if they decide to put Caleb out there, which I'm not sure they will too much. But, Bajent was okay. It's just, he'll be disappointed. We know he can do better. So I guess I think some people were talking about a good game will help his trade value, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I think our QB is really tied up. The three of them, they've said about how good it is to have the continuity. So, he's got a bit shaking the rust off. Peanut Head says that Tyson was a bit amped up for the scrimmage, but hit a beautiful TD. The TD was a good pass, Good run off the catch from Maurice Alexander. So, he got a touchdown. He'll be disappointed with the interception, but onwards and upwards to the next one, I think.
Yeah. What were your thoughts, Dave?
Well, initially, I'm just so glad to have Bears football back. We can put last season behind us now of what could have been, and we can only look forwards. And I'll tell you what, Chicago must have been buzzing over the weekend because obviously the Bears were at home. The Cubs were playing the Cardinals, a divisional game at Wrigley. I think Chicago had an air and boat show going on over the weekend as well. Right. And what you said earlier on, Chris, the crowd was bloody decent, mate, for a pre-season game. And I watched a bit of the build-up. The DJ was pumping some sound, and people. So the vibe was really good. And I think it's just a carry-on from last season. And I think the fans and the supporters are just looking forward to the future of what's going to happen. Bajent, as Jason just said, a little bit rusty. Initially, when the game started, I was a little bit nervous for him, but actually, he settled in okay. And once he got the ring rust out of the way, he was looking okay. But not a brilliant performance. I don't think Jason will probably give me the stats later of how good or bad he was, but. He wasn't that good, but hey ho.
Yeah,
it's also a good point. Sorry, mate. It's a good point from Peanut Head saying that he also had a mishmash line in front of him going against the Browns.
Yes,
he'd probably look quite different with our starting line in front of him, wouldn't he? But that's another issue about preseason games too, isn't it? But right. I think maybe with the crowd too, though. I think there's probably an issue. Part of the fact. Hello, Cricket Commish. Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Another fact is that it's the only home game, isn't it? So that probably helped bump up the crowd a bit. I think it's the only one home game, so that may do any difference. But anyway, over to you.
I mean, my sort of thoughts about Bajent is that he would definitely sort of seem to be forcing the pass, especially like his interception. He'll force it into where the really tight coverage on the guys, and also he seemed to let a few balls just loft a bit, which was one of the the things that people used to critique him on. When he first started for the Bears, and I actually saw him play live against the Raiders. He was the second game I went to, especially the first game when he took over from Fields against the Vikings, he had quite a few passes where it just sort of just flew a bit. They just want enough sort of speed put on the ball, enough power, but it's like I mean, obviously he won't be getting that many reps in training because he ain't the starter, and it would probably just start combination of rustiness. It's first game he's played live and probably in front of the stadium for probably this time last year or whenever he came for Caleb, which I can never really remember him having to do. So I mean, I thought he was all right. I thought Keenan played well within himself. I thought Cleveland's sort of defense were pretty ropey right from the start. Really, I mean, they played really base stuff and they didn't really seem to get much pressure on our QBs apart from the one that got Benjamin and it nearly took his head off. But overall, I mean, it's just so hard in pre-season because it's not only how your player plays, it's the quality of the opposition he's playing against. So obviously, it diminishes throughout the game. But yeah, I would overall happy. I think Bajent, if he gets he'll get another run out this week. against the Bengals. I think that it'll just get him back into the groove against it. We've all played sport. And it does take just takes a while to get used to back in that game speed and the atmosphere and the build up like that. We'll move on to like the rushing attack. They were really sort of pushing Johnson. He had 8 carries for 34 yards. Ahmed had 2 for 17. Bennett had 4 for 10 yards on a TD, and Brown had 5 for 8 yards. What were your thoughts about the rushing attack, David?
It's very difficult because it's okay. It was okay. I can see why players don't want to go 100% full in at the moment. It's pre-season. They're sort of like trying to show their talent and their ability without getting injured as well. It's a difficult game, really, and I find it very difficult watching. I have the same problem with soccer as well when it comes to watching pre-seasons. We know the ability of some of these players. I don't know a lot of these players that were on the pitch on Saturday because obviously they're new to me and new to the Bears. But no worries. I've got no issues with it at the moment. I can't really contribute too much to that because I don't think they're going in 100%.
No. What are your thoughts, Jason?
Well, again, without the starting offensive line, the run game is going to look different for a start, isn't it? But I think they would. This is with the battle for running back 3, wasn't it? That's what that was about.
That's right.
Johnson ripped off a 19-yarder. Obviously, Ahmed looked good. I think his 2 carries, but he's been lighting it up in pre-season. So, and obviously the catch for the touchdown, the 49-yard screen, was pretty good. So, yeah, I think Ahmed's probably the favourite. Again, I don't know if you guys know, but they released Coleman Bennett. They waived him to make space.
Right.
Yeah, waived him to make space to sign Davenport and another guy today. So we'll talk about them after. But yeah, so they waived Coleman Bennett. The guy got the touchdown. There's 4 carries. So I think they were kind of thinking they're okay really with the running back position. But obviously now we've got a little knee problem with Manungai, and they're hoping he'll be ready for week 1. So the running back 3 could be quite important. So we'll see. It's probably between Ahmed and Johnson now. Really, Britton Brown did okay last year. He scored a touchdown against the Bengals, didn't he? So maybe they'll keep him on the practice squad.
Sorry, Jess. Every time I've seen Brown play, I mean, obviously the most time would have been in the pre-season last year. He runs really hard. You know what I mean? He's like a downhill runner, a bit of a bigger guy compared to say something like Swift. And I just think he's better than Johnson. I think Johnson, I just think he ain't got much sideways sort of ability. It's very suited me, just like north south and put your head down, and really. Hey, Kimbuka.
Right, Booker.
He hasn't really excited me ever since we drafted him. But we'll mention the offensive line because obviously the big sort of talking point is the left tackle, and I think let's be fair, let's say both players struggled quite a lot. I think, especially is it Wills who we picked up from Cleveland.
Jedrick Wills, yeah. Well, if the guy hasn't played a competitive snap for like 18 months or more, isn't he? Because he missed the entirety of last season, and he's clearly a bit rusty. Yeah, he was. Hey, Foster, who's in the chat to see it.
Choppers are better.
What? Excuse me.
Choppers. Did you see?
Choppers.
Did you see like the state of him there on the Thursday night show a couple of weeks ago?
I didn't catch it.
He had an infection or something.
Oh, bloody hell. I didn't see that. But yeah, sorry, left tackle. Yeah, no one covered themselves in glory, did they? So Wills is a bit sort
of... I made a couple of notes. In the game. Brown's Dillian Sampson, when he burst through and there was a couple of missed tackles. Was that the side that we're talking about now? Because the way he just went through, I just thought it worried me initially at the beginning because obviously I'm sure it was on the left tackle side that Dillian Sampson pushed through, but I'll have to. You guys might have to confirm that for me.
Well, if it was left side, it would be them. Yeah, it would have been.
You mean for the sack? Do you mean the sack?
No, it's Sampson. He got the ball. I can't remember. I think it was Watson threw the ball over the top, and Sampson caught it and then ran for about 30 yards. But 2 tackles just missed him totally, and it's just like it's quite worrying for me. But I can't remember what position that was. But one of the guys in the chat might remember.
We're talking about the defense. We're talking left tackle, mate. It's
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong notes again. I'm having my
Not tackles. Yeah, you're right. Just have another sip of your beer.
Dave,
I'm sorry, they're miles away.
I was expecting this week a massive big pile of print-offs right behind you from last week.
Brilliant. But no, I think the offensive line play. Caden Barnett impressed on a couple of occasions. I thought he put a really good block on that screen pass for the touchdown, didn't he? He was out there, and I think the other guy was it 63? I can't remember his name now. But it Murphy, I got no idea. Someone else, yeah. Jones looked solid. He got beaten on. He lost a few reps, didn't he? The centre, Logan Jones. He had a decent enough start. Welcome to the NFL, and because they did have a few of their starters in for the defense, and they got a new defensive coordinator, haven't they, as well? Cleveland. So that they were probably. I don't know if they're going to be trying too much in the preseason. Like no one shows their hand to their tool. You get all very vanilla. So maybe it wasn't anything to do with it. But I'm not too impressed with them. Not too impressed with Cleveland, to be honest.
Do you think, guys, that they're going to leave the left tackle position quite open as an open competition quite right up to like the first week, maybe?
They would have done unless someone had literally grabbed it. I think if someone had stood out, they'd have the job. But obviously, the biggest news of the last few days is they've obviously Trapillo is back off the PUP, man, back in training, which is crazy. So I'm trying to temper my expectations to expect that he's not, not expecting next week to be back to where he was. But I'm guessing, I'm certainly hoping they wouldn't have let him even start training if they weren't 100% sure that his knee was where it needed to be. So that's incredible news.
Have they predicted what game he would come back at?
I was just going to say, I mean, you must be thinking it's going to be at least another couple of months, you would have thought, wouldn't you? At least. To come all the way back and get to that sort of game fitness and strength, it must be. They can't rush it because it'd be so unfair to the young guy as well. He could end his career completely if he really
such a serious injury. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if he's back in training, it depends on if he's straight back into sort of first team reps. I mean, the word is that he's really attacked the rehab. Obviously, he has to get where he is. He's really smashed it. His attitude's been brilliant. Big shout out to the doctors that sorted him out, the training staff. But we can only hope that he's going to be sort of back to his best, as soon as really. But really interesting to see him back this early because no one expected it. Which is why there was so much pressure on the left tackle. But it's just wide open again, isn't it? I think with the way that both Amagaji and Wills performed on Saturday, and I think maybe I don't know if they'll be considering trying Benedette there again. But then again, Braxton Jones is back from injury too, isn't he? So Jones is ready to fight for it.
Do you think that'll be like the big decider is how healthy Braxton Jones is?
Yeah,
I think if he's pretty much healthy enough to play week one, I think he'll be a week one starter. Even if he doesn't have even if he doesn't have much training camp before he comes back, I think if he's fit, he's probably going to be the starting left tackle. Because I mean, with Ozzy as well, he's such a young player that if he's going to be our start left tackle, then there's no point in rushing the guy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Not the sake like he could really end his career. So I hope they just play it sort of steady and also, I mean, I think most of the time it's the player who wants to try to say, I'm all right, try to push it along because obviously they want to play. We've all been like that. But yeah, I thought overall the offensive line played well. To say, like you got so many, people coming in, playing a few players. But yeah, the left tackle is going to be a continuing story, isn't it?
Yeah. Booker.
So I'll quickly move on to the receivers. Davis got 4 receptions for 88 yards. McLeod 3 for 63 yards. Ahmed 3 for 50 yards and a TD. Alexander 3 receptions 42 and TD. Miller 3 for 37. Richardson 2 for 34. And Roush, the rookie tight end, got 2 for 15 yards. I mean, everything's quite spread out there, which I suppose what you expect in a pre-season. But I mean, I was quite sort of impressed with Miller and the other little white guy they've got. He looked like Walker and Patriots. Yeah, I think both of them had a good game. But what were your thoughts about the receivers and the receiving core, Jason?
Definitely. I mean, I can't remember a time this sort of depth in the Bears wide receivers. if you think that our first 5 receivers were not playing, didn't have Roman Dunze, Luther Burden, Khalif Raymond, Jardine Walker, or Xavier Thomas out there. Those 5 were missing, and then Davis, Ray McLeod, Maurice Alexander, the touchdown, Scotty Miller, JP Richardson. And to talk about explosive plays, we led the league. Like we were pretty high, I think 2nd or 3rd in explosive plays last season. And just going through their longest receptions, all of them, Caden Davis had a 41 yards, McLeod 28, Ahmed 49 touchdown, Alexander 25 touchdown, Scotty Miller 18, JP Richardson 18. We took explosive plays all over the shop. So, and it's we're going to be struggling to decide who to cut in some respects, but it's a great choice to have. But really, I think throughout the whole game, we just showed off how good our depth is, really. And especially at wide receiver, I thought, like I say, really impressed with Caden Davis. He's been doing really well in training camp, and it showed on the game. And Maurice Alexander, again, he gets a touchdown every preseason, doesn't he? And then, Scotty Miller looked okay too. So, really, really pleased with the way they performed. And those guys are not all going to be on the team, so they'll do someone pretty well, I think, whoever they end up signing for.
Yeah, no, I agree. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Jason sort of said it all, really. I thought Alexander and Davis were absolutely superb. They made themselves available. They managed to get a bit of separation. I thought they looked really good.
Just one block on Alexander's Alexander's copybook was that drop, though. He had one really bad drop, didn't he? The ball was right in his chest.
Of course, yeah.
So that was going to count against. They'll be watching that sort of stuff.
And also, were you guys aware, because obviously we're sort of ending the offensive section of the show, that the second half, the play caller were called by the offensive coordinator, not
Anton
Ben
I saw that. Yeah,
I didn't realise. I didn't find out one until today. So I quite that's a really good idea by a head coach to do that. Just give that guy a bit of experience and let him show what he can do as well to the rest of the NFL. Quite impressed with that. But I think he did it last year as well to a certain point, and I think they might have done it on defense as well. Let one of the assistant coaches, call the plays. But sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry, Mark. I just think that says a lot about Ben Johnson as well. That the fact that he's not going to be a dominant. Well, he's a dominant manager. We know that, but he's just bringing the whole unit together. Coaches, players. It's fantastic, and I thought it was a great idea. And like you, Chris, I only read about that today, so I was shocked actually when I read it. But fair play.
Yeah, fair play.
Welcome, Marcus Jones. Sorry, I don't know if I've seen Marcus Jones in the chat before, but welcome in. Good to see you join us, man. He says, we legit got 8 receivers. You're not wrong, are you? That's what I mean. It's crazy.
No. It's like what we were saying last week, though, isn't it? It's so weird that we've got a great QB, which is not the usual for the Chicago Bears, and neither it is for wide receivers.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Go on.
And another one that's something that really hit me watching the game is that because they're watching Cleveland Brown have like a flat out like QB competition to see who's their starter, and to just feel like we've got just to watch another team have that. Just this is crazy, isn't it? Like we've got our starter, we've got our franchise QB, and to see another team going through the struggles of trying to decide who's going to start behind center in their first game, and then obviously things like the center exchange. There was a fumble snap from Shedeur Sanders, wasn't there? So. Just to watch another team go through it, and it's really weird to feel like the Bears are like, well, we got a quarterback. That's another team's problem, It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nice. And to be fair, I feel a little bit sorry for Sanders, really, because he's a young player, and then you got Watson, who's got a lot of history behind him. He's got a lot of history and not a negative press. And then I wonder where they're going to start. Who they're going to start with? That'd be quite interesting, actually.
Yeah,
well, Watson was far better, wasn't he? Watson was far better. You could tell the experience. He's a seasoned pro. Just don't leave him in the locker room on his own. That's all.
So overall, that's what she said. But overall, I'm really happy with the offense. Score 34 points against anybody in the NFL is great, regardless if it's a preseason game. And it will just be intriguing to see how they develop, the next 2 games and who's going to play, because obviously they've got the joint practices. But we'll be on to the defense. A new star, maybe. Is it a defensive tackle? Because it Cromer?
Jamri Cromer, defensive end.
5 tackles, 1 assist, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. And he's getting a lot of buzz about on the shows on YouTube about his performance. And I wonder if he can sort of keep it up. You know,
Look,
I need to put my glasses on. I can't read half of them comments.
I won't read it out.
Yeah, they're all disgusting. Disgusting. You know, this is a British show. We don't do that. Hippolyte, he got 4 tackles, 3 assists. Bean Bishop got 2 interceptions, and Sanborn got 3 tackles and 2 assists. What were your overall thoughts about the defense, Dave?
There was a lot of high energy. They were taking the game seriously as well, actually, and I really enjoyed that. And like I say, Cromar, he was superb. I've got DeMarco Jackson down, Devin Bush, James Lynch, Hippolyte, Beanie Bishop, all put in a performance I really enjoyed. I actually quite like the defensive side of things. I think that's what attracted me to the Bears in the 80s, where they were just like,
that's so weird. That's so weird. So I'm literally just going to ask you, what side of football do you prefer to watch, the offense or the defense? You've always been a bit more defensive guy.
I think so. Like I say, watching the Bears in the early 80s, it was part of our bread and butter, really. And don't get me wrong, watching Caleb throw some of these fantastic touchdowns to I love that as well. But sometimes you've got to grind out a result, and you need boys like that. And is it Jamie Cromar? He was just absolutely fucking superb. I got a lot of pleasure from that.
What are your thoughts, Jason, about the D?
Yeah, one thing I noticed was it seemed like we were getting a lot more pressure up the middle on the D line, for sure. I noticed Vandenberg breaking through once. I think he had a QB hit or 2. Where is it? I'm not going to start scrolling through. That's very boring content, isn't it? But so I think a lot of inside pressure. So I know that Gallimore had some, like James Lynch played pretty well. And Cromar, like I said, our Peanut Head was saying he's going against second and thirds, but he's a second and third, isn't he? He was a practice squad guy.
That's right, yeah.
And what you want to see is your players dominate the seconds and thirds of the other team. So we kind of did it. So you can play. You can only play who's in front of you, can't you? So I know that certainly the Browns are trying to still find their sort of offensive line identity, because I think they might have 5 new starters this season.
That's right. Yes.
Get to week 1. So that's another struggle of theirs, I think. But I think, pleased with the initial stuff. A little bit disappointed with Booker. He didn't really show out, did he? But I don't think he had too many snaps. But just I said the picks. One of them, the first pick for Beanie, you can't credit him too much for them in terms of like amazing plays. They're both straight in his breadbasket, weren't they? But 2 picks is 2 picks. You got to be happy with that. And he looked okay. I think I'm quite pleased. I think he could make the 53, depending on the injuries we've got. Clearly, that's why they're bringing another guy in as well.
So one thing, Jason, who sort of shone him a light for me, is it Mahmood, the rookie? Is it Mahmood? The rookie?
Malik Muhammad. Malik
Man,
Muhammad, cornerback.
He made some really good players on Saturday. I think as well, his tackling was supposed to be not a strength of his when he come out of college, but he can definitely tell us we're working on that. So he made some really good hits and tackles, and he was sort of all around that sort. It was a bit like he was playing that sort of Kyler Gordon position, wasn't it, really? But I thought, to say, that was his first game, I was really impressed with him. Playing sort of slightly out of position, but I think overall the Bears, you can just see the Bears were so further down the line as a team, and the Browns are at this moment in time. And I expected us to perform like we did, and the good thing as well is that we didn't really have many penalties, which you obviously get a lot of pre. It's all we had 2. Wow. Because you usually get like a lot of pre-snap and offense, don't you, when it's pre-season, because you got so many different plays. But that's also a sign of a really, really well coached team, and everybody buying in, and everybody learning the players and knowing what they're doing, and discipline as well. So, what were your sort of final overall thoughts about the game, Jason?
Just like you said, taking care of business. Like the show title is, it's let's played against our depth against their depth, really, wasn't it? Pretty much. None of the starters played on offense. I believe they had a good run out beforehand, though, didn't they? So I think they had them out there running plays as a warm up. I think did they say they did 60 plays?
They did about 60 odd plays, didn't they, with the starters?
So they're clearly happy with where the first team offense is. So with our current injury fucking record, I'm quite happy they don't risk any of the starters at the minute. Just save them for week 1 if they're happy where they're at. Yeah, just keep them wrapped in bubble wrap, and safe.
Yeah,
but yeah, defensively.
Sorry, the only thing I'm going to quickly say is like, I was quite surprised that Friedelman played. The rookie safety we got. I'm glad he did, and I'm glad I got a chance to see him. But I was quite surprised that he started. But I can understand why. Sorry, Jason, to interrupt.
That's all right. I think he's probably just getting his feet wet, aren't they? They wanted him to just get out on the field first. Just never played a snap in the NFL from college, so just get him out there, give him a couple of plays, and something to work on. I think they haven't got much else many else players to put out there at safety at the minute. So
True, yeah.
but he'd probably just give him a few goes as a rookie, get him out there on the field, and then just you can start looking at what he can improve. But yeah, you're right. Mohamed has been they've been swapping in between nickel and outside corner, haven't they? And as someone just said, I think in the chat about grooming him for playing nickel, depending on who we get, available. But he made one particular really good open field tackle, didn't he? I remember, Mohamed. But yeah, decent start. I think good pressure up the middle. We'll see how we got on against a slightly better offensive line, I think, in terms of Cincinnati, depending on who they play, of course. But that's where I think the joint practices are far more informative than the actual game, because they'll have ones against ones, won't they? So it should be good to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But overall, captain to 10, happy. Yeah. Move on.
Cool. Sorry, man. Kept jumping in, man. Sorry, David. What were your sort of final thoughts about the game, and what were your what were the things really give you hope?
I really enjoyed. I did enjoy it. There was a couple of things that stood out for me as well. It's like silly little things, like the Browns needed a 1-yarder, and Hippolyte managed to block that. And for me, that just shows a bit of commitment, even though it's pre-season, they don't want to get hurt. But him stopping that on the 1 yard, stopping the Browns getting that 1 yard was amazing, really. Ahmed's touchdown, really enjoyed that one. Head down, bit of speed to it. I think all in all, a good performance. I think basically we all predicted last week Bears comfortable win, really, and I think it was a comfortable performance. I quite like the energy Caleb had on the sideline as well. Actually, he was watching the game, and he was celebrating with the players as well. And I really enjoyed that. It seems to be a very united front at the moment, and hope we take that to Cincinnati. Is it Saturday? We're playing them on Saturday.
Yeah, but it's your favourite team, isn't it, the Bengals? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's just over halfway through the show, and Jason's back again with his stat bomb. So fire away, mate.
Well, everyone's part of the favorite part of the show, or maybe just mine. It's the stat bomb. So there's been reports coming out recently about Caleb. He lost 13 pounds in the off season, so which is nearly a stone. It's like crazy amount of weight. So they're saying he's looking really fast. So this brought my mind back to last season when I saw something on X. I saw someone post a fact about the top 9 sort of fastest running plays last season. Every single one was a running back apart from one. The only non-quarterback was Caleb, and he was in there about a sort of 4 or 5 in terms of speed on the ground with the ball. So
I believe that, yeah.
So we're going to add a bit more pace to him. So I started looking for that, and I stumbled across on the NFL's official YouTube channel. I found a video from last season that listed the 50 fastest plays of offensive plays last year, and there are 4 Bears in there. So running from the bottom up, number 48 was Luther Burden. And these are basically the 50 fastest plays last year in the NFL. Number 48 was Luther Burden, who reached 21.01 miles an hour with his kickoff return at Detroit in week 2. Number 45 was Devin Duvernay, his kickoff return at Minnesota, the one that got us into field position to win it with the field goal, remember the last minute one. He was 21.03 miles an hour. And this one might surprise you. Number 23, the 23rd fastest play of last season was DJ Moore's overtime touchdown catch against Green Bay. So I know DJ got a lot of shade about his running style, and he did say he looks deceptively slow, didn't he? He said he responded because people were saying he doesn't put full effort in. But that was the 23rd fastest play in the NFL last year. He was 21.31 miles an hour to catch that overtime winner against Green Bay in Week 16. And then number 14 was our fastest Bear last year, was Nashon Wright when he got that pick 6 against Minnesota. He reached 21.66 miles an hour during that play. And just for your info, the fastest player last season on any play was Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Colts, with 22.38 miles an hour. And another little add-on to that, interestingly, I couldn't find where I saw it, but I'm sure I saw it, was our new signing, Marcus Davenport, which we'll talk about after. He reached a speed of 21 miles an hour last year, because we know he's, they're saying he's fast, which he is. He reached 21 miles an hour last year, so as fast as basically DJ Moore. So,
wow.
and Luther Burden. So, something to look forward to. But that was the one thing I noticed. The other big topic of the week was, of course, Ben Johnson's presser, wasn't it? When his press conference, when he made this bold ambition to be the highest scoring team in the NFL next year. At some point, that's what he wants to achieve. So it made me look at that. And obviously, the highest scoring team ever in the NFL was the 2013 Broncos, which had 606 points on the season, which was 37.9 per game, which is crazy. That's the season that Peyton Manning, I think, got 5,477 yards passing. So, yeah, that's average was 37.9 per game. To put it in context, last year, the Bears offense managed 441 points, which is the third most in our franchise history. So we did once average 36 points per game, which was in 1941 when Hallas was the head coach, and it was an 11-game season. But we have managed 36 points per game previously in our history. And since the NFL started a 17-game season, the most points scored by a team per game, can you have any guesses?
Patriots?
Nope. It was the Detroit Lions in 2024. Who was their offensive coordinator?
Armand Johnson.
Ben Johnson. Yeah. So Ben Johnson in 2024 led the Lions to the highest points per game the NFL has seen in a 17-game season of 33.2. So he's saying he wants to get about, another 5 points a game more than that offense, which with the weapons he's assembling, I'd say isn't out of the realms of possibility if we can sort of perform. So let's keep things crossed for that. The other two things he mentioned on his press conference were he wanted to see some blowouts and he wanted some shutouts. Now, our two biggest wins last season, the two major wins, obviously, were the 17-point victory over the Cowboys and then a 28-point win over the Browns. So those are the two that you can consider our sort of blowouts. Obviously, when you're doing fourth quarter comebacks, you're probably not putting teams away early, are you? So hopefully that's something that will change this coming season, is just more points throughout the whole game and they're out of sight. So blowouts, let's have them. And then finally, to talk about the shutouts that Johnson mentioned, the NFL record for shutouts in one season is actually held by the Bears with 8 shutouts in 1932. So that's the highest number of shutouts in the seasons in the NFL. But the Bears have struggled more recently. The last time we shut a team out, can you guess when it was? What year do you reckon?
2012.
Bueller, anyone? I'll tell you, it was week 11 of the 2010 season against the Dolphins. That's the last time we shut any team out. So we're due
really? Fucking hell, it's terrible.
So we may not be too hopeful with our defense, but I mean, I think maybe our game plan this year is to outscore everyone. So we'll see. But
yeah. Nicely done, sir. Nicely
Top
done.
work. Yeah, top work, mate.
Yeah, as usual, bang, the mind's blown. Mind's blown. But yeah,
some of those speeds you were talking about, man, that's phenomenal, isn't it? It's just like, 21 miles an hour. That is, you ain't catching that, are you?
Crazy, isn't it?
In that year though, when he had the last orders, Bell goes, shit, mate, get to the bar. 25 miles an hour, that Dave will be. Big Dave, 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, or if Greg's is burning down, I'm down there quickly.
Yeah.
No, that is phenomenal stats there, man. It's really quite. When you were saying those stats, for some reason, do you remember when Kevin Keegan was manager of Newcastle and he was chasing after Liverpool, and it was about, okay, you score 3 goals, we'll score 4. You score 4 goals. It's just that positive. It's that positive mentality again, isn't it? Okay, we might concede a few, but you know what? We're going to outgun you, and I'm so excited about that. That's brilliant.
I know some people have reacted not so favourably to it. They think it's like, oh, it's ego, it's all this. To me, it's just setting the tone. It doesn't matter if you achieve it or not. He's saying, this is our intention. You better come ready to play. And one of my favourite stats from last year was that only twice last season did the team win the following week after playing the Bears. So
right.
You remember the Dolphins? The Dolphins were bleating about us being too hard in training. It's because we come to play, man. And that's the culture that Johnson is setting this team. So it goes from top to bottom. So I can't wait for that. Teams know they're going to be playing a game against us. They better be, bring the hard hat and ready to dig in,
Yeah, and that is what people talk about, setting the culture, isn't it? That is, you can't ask for anything more than that. That's what you want. For too long we seem to have put up with mediocrity in the Bears franchise. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like that'll be good enough. We'll probably get over 500 and move on to the next season where with Johnson it's very much like the here and now, and we're here to win the Super Bowl, and anything less is not the standard they're going to accept. Anything in the training camp news you've heard about, Jason? Anything from training camp?
The main one we're watching at the moment is injuries, isn't it? Of course, like I said, Manungai has just tweaked a knee, so they're saying he's hoping he's ready week 1. Bajan has come out today, has tweaked a hamstring in that game on Saturday, so he wasn't at training today. Obviously, Trapillo back. Luther was running on the field before the game on Saturday, wasn't he? So he was out there. So obviously that groin isn't too serious. So fingers crossed, touch wood, knock on wood, he's going to be good for week 1. Braxton Jones is back. Cam Lewis is back. Sweat is back. I think I had a little. What did I look at here? Obviously, we know in terms of injuries, we hopefully we can hope for the best for Xavier Woods, the safety. He tweaked his groin. Nephi Saul obviously had that concussion, did he, in the game on that massive hit on that kickoff. He was chasing down. He clearly hurt himself on that. Terrell Smith is still out, undisclosed. We just don't know. Foster Woods, he was out, wouldn't he? But couldn't play at the weekend because of that injury to groin. So again, maybe they're playing it cautious. Hopefully that's the case. Hippolyte left the game with a shoulder after leading the team with 7 tackles. And of course, Xavier Thomas is in the knee. So we know that Bryant's out. And then we've got rid of a couple of others. But yeah, still Shamar Turner's recovering from last season's ACL. He's undisclosed on the pup. Elijah Hicks on the pup. Noah Saul still Achilles. And obviously Kyler Gordon. We won't go there because that'll just start people off again. But hopefully we'll get something good. Yeah, but really just, there was a light training session, wasn't it, on Sunday? So nothing much else to report so far. The joint one's on Thursday with the Bengals. So,
and we just had some recent signings as well. Didn't we see Marcus Davenport?
That's it, yeah. 29 years old. Obviously, everyone knows him from the Saints, where he was with Dennis Allen, where he had his best success. 6'6", 285 pounds, 33 and 3/4 inch arms. He was a first round pick in 2018, number 14, spent 5 years at the Saints. The big issue with him, of course, everyone knows, is injuries. So he only managed 11, 13 or 15 games every year with the Saints, but his best year of production was 9 sacks in 2021. But he's a bit of a freak athlete. Like I said, he ran a 4.58 40 in the combine. Sorry, obviously some time ago, but he's still quick. And the only sack he had, he went to the Vikings after there for 2023. Spent 2 seasons at the Lions, where he was last year, where he produced only 1 sack, which happened to be against the Bears in week 2. So, yeah. So he played 8 games last year, 7 starts. Davenport's 29.
Okay, he's been about a bit then, yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
James, go on.
Go on. So yes, I mean it's not a needle mover, but Peanut, how fast is he in crutches? The other question is, can he play safety? But
hey, well, that's speed.
He's a freak athlete. He knows Dennis Allen, so again, I don't know how much that difference that makes in terms of what people think, whether he knows the system or not. But at least it means that the coach knows what he's getting out of him. Mm-hmm. He's fast, he's long. He's there's a couple of good highlights from this last year when he's literally just long arming the guy back into the quarterback last year, and then
nice.
Yeah, so he's got potential. We'll see what he does in training camp, but obviously he's not a massive needle mover. If he's back to his best form and free of injuries, worth a punt, I think he'll be on a vet minimum, NFL league minimum, won't he? So he won't be
right.
And if he doesn't perform, I guess we can probably get a shot of him when we cut to the 53. But a kind of low risk move, but experienced vet. And maybe that does mean that perhaps Shamar Turner's injury is a little bit more, not as well recovered as we were hoping Shamar Turner is.
Let's also hope as well that it don't mean that Sweat's injury is worse, and we're all sort of hoping it's not going to be.
He was back in training, wasn't he? So I think he's back. He's okay.
Oh, was he back in full training?
Yeah.
Wait,
So
right.
Yeah, and
Cool.
the other player we signed, of course, was is DeAndre Prince, a cornerback. He was drafted by the Jags in round 5 in 2024 from Ole Miss. He was kind of projected when he came out as a sort of cornerback number 4 or 5 on the depth chart. So nothing spectacular. He was drafted in round 5. 6 foot, 183 pounds. Very fast, though. He did a 4.38 in the combine. So pretty rapid. He was almost a 3-year starter at college in the last year in 2023. He started all 13 games with 36 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, 5 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. And when he played his rookie season with 2024 with the Jags, he had 10 games, 6 solo tackles, 2 assists, and 1 pass breakup. But last year, for some reason, didn't play at all. So I'm not sure whether that was because he was down the depth chart or he was just on the practice squad or something. But again, with our struggles at cornerback and stuff, he's a good guy to have in there. See what he can do. It's another body to fight for a position on the roster in it. Perhaps, like I say, at sort of depth cover, which he could be useful. So, but yeah, we'll see. So to make room for those, they waived Coleman Bennett, the running back, like I said, the one who had the touchdown at the weekend, and tight end Nikola Kalinic, who was left with an injury designation because they said he hurt his knee, I think, in the game. So he was waived with an injury settlement. So that's what they did to make space. But those are our 2 signings for the last few days.
Cool.
Yeah, ones to watch in training, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So the next preseason opposition for the Bears is the Cincinnati Bengals, who beat the Detroit Lions 16-14 last weekend. Burrows, he was out there. I think he started. He got 5 out of 6 for 39 yards. Flacco, 5 of 8 for 51 yards and 1 tutty. And Johnson, 10 out of 19 for 84 yards. The highest rusher was Milton, 9 for 21 yards. And also, I'll just quickly run through the stats and we can sort of talk about them generally. Receiving Mayers, 3 receptions, 29 yards. Young, two receptions for 28 yards. And Chase, 1 reception for 16 yards. On defense as well, their main contributor was, I think it's Gills Harris, 5 tackles, 1 assist. And Battle and Yeast both had an interception each. So basically, the Bears are doing a combined training session with the Bengals, which I think really, how it sounds, that's what the coaches are going to base a lot on rather than the preseason games. As I mentioned last week, you're still in a controlled environment when it's a joint practice rather than it being a preseason game. What would you like? What do you think the Bears are sort of looking to get out of these joint practices, Jason?
Hello, Carl. Good to see you in the chat, mate. Does everyone in here know that I created the first ever BCP Madden 27 online franchise yesterday? No, I don't think anybody. I didn't know that, but well done, mate. Foster didn't as well. Foster, yeah, we did mention Rojo. He had that long run for, was it 19-yarder or something? Had a few reps. I think our view generally was, Foster, that Rojo's probably not going to be here next year. He's fighting for that running back 3 spot. And he's okay, but I think, again, I don't know if he's done enough for a second contract, but he looked okay. Chris said he feels he's more of a battering ram kind of player. He hasn't got that sort of lateral quickness that someone like Swift has. So, yeah, we're kind of he did all right, decent carries, but yeah, we'll see where he goes in the next one. But sorry, mate, yeah, I wanted to just answer those things in the chat.
No, that's fine. No, I'm just asking, what do you think the Bears are really going to sort of focus on getting out of the joint practices?
I think it'll just be, again, it'll be good to see. Yeah, Peanut Rojo was mediocre as always.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, right. Sorry, I'm trying to get distracted by the chat there. I think they're going to be. I think in some ways the joint practice, I think, is more informative than the game, because when they started putting out everyone's going to put out their seconds, aren't they? Resting starters for the preseason games. So yeah, I mean they started with, I say, Burrow went out there for a bit. Flacco, they actually used 4 quarterbacks in their game on the weekend.
Okay.
So they also had 4 fumbles, which I thought was quite interesting. So Milton had one. Flacco dropped
these
it.
practice sessions, are they behind closed doors, or they're sort of like fans sort of invited into the place?
I'm not entirely sure, mate. I don't know.
I'm not.
Any idea?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
You think they're
Okay.
behind closed doors, wouldn't you? But because it's ones against ones, but I just don't know. If anybody in the chat knows, let us know.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, mate. Yeah, I think it'll just be a chance to put the first team up against somebody. Hopefully, a bit less of the kind of risk of an injury, like I say, for the preseason games. A bit like you said earlier, Dave, when you feel a bit nervous because you got guys that are desperate to make the team going flat out trying to make a point, and they'll fly to someone and injure them. But I think we saw last year that we know that Johnson means business and all these kind of things. So we got some whinging from the Dolphins, didn't we? That we practiced too hard against other stuff. So. Yeah. Foster says the Cincy practices were closed, otherwise I was going. So it's closed practice. So I guess we'll have to rely on sort of second hand from the reporters and stuff. So they'll be helpful, I think. And then lead into the game. I think they'll use those as the use them as the sort of the measure for the first team, and then the game will be sort of seconds, thirds again, won't it? So again, the chance for the backup guys to earn a place on the 53, really. So that's my view.
And it's just one day they get the joint practice, isn't it? It's only 2.5 hour session, I think, today. So I wasn't too sure if like a double, double reps or whatever. But yeah, Dave, what your sort of hopes are, hopefully not fears, and what the
hopes
Bears
and fears.
Both. I think much of what happened last Saturday, really, we want to sort of see a decent team performance. We want to see a good win. I was shocked what you just said earlier about Burrows and Flacco both playing in their preseason game. I was shocked by that when you just said that. So Burrows is a decent quarterback. Flacco's not a bad backup either. But yeah, they're all right. I can't remember how did they get on last season, the Bengals?
We beat them, didn't we? In one of our dramatic comebacks. I think.
Didn't we just?
I don't know what their record was. I think it was 500.
I believe they missed the playoffs, didn't they? They missed the playoffs again last year.
Playoffs. So I believe they were probably 8 and 9 or something like that, I'd imagine.
Okay, but they're one of those strange teams. I remember seeing the Bengals play. I'm going to say Wembley Stadium, going back quite a few years. I'm sure Andy Dalton was the quarterback. I'm sure of it. But since they've had Burrows, sort of like he's been the face of NFL for a while, hasn't he? And
what do you rate him as a QB, Burrows? Because I think
I like him. Yeah,
he's a good player, but he's very injury prone. For me, if you're missing, being on the field, it's just as important as the talent you bring with you as well. I think that, especially when it's a QB. I mean, he has been out. I'd love to see how many games he's missed over the last couple of years. Because obviously, Caleb had missed any touchwood and all that, and all this sort of thing.
He's got something about him. He's got a bit of. He's got like mad eyes as well. He's got a bit of swagger about him. He looks a bit like he's on the edge all the time. But I like him.
What are your thoughts, Jason, about Burrows?
I'll answer Booker's question here because you did miss it.
You did, mate. Yeah.
You're right. I saw today that Bajent has got a hamstring injury, like a slight hamstring strain there. Well, we don't know the extent yet, so we haven't had a press conference. No. So he got a hamstring tweak in the game on Saturday, so he may miss this weekend. We don't know. We haven't heard anything other than that. That's all I know is he's got a slight hamstring strain. So that's you're right. He did get hurt, so you did hear right. Yeah, there we go. That's confirmed by Peanut. He's pulled a hammy. Yeah, so no, I like Burrow. Yeah, he's a real talented guy, but it's the injuries again. He burst on the scene, didn't he? Was it his rookie year he got to the championship game?
Yeah.
Or his second year got to the Super Bowl, and they lost to Donald and the Rams, didn't they? With that last minute sack that ended the game. But he's supremely talented, but just can't stay fit, I think. And he's obviously got some real weapons in sort of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So that'll be really great test for our cornerbacks when it going up against those.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up a bit. I think for me, what the coaches are going to see is that the players are going to be up against an opposition which always gets the fires burning. Instead of the same guy being going in and out of for the last 2-3 weeks at training camp. And I think as well, it'll be really good to see like Jalen Johnson, how he compares against Chase. They're number one, so that'll give them a good idea about where the team is or where it's leveling out. So yeah, I think they'll get a lot of the joint practice, and then I'm going to say Bears win. I'm going to say I think the Bears are going to score a lot again. I'm going to say 30. I don't know, 31-28 to the Bears.
Oh, a high scoring game. Yeah, the other thing to watch out for, sorry, in fact, just to mention a bit more about the Bengals, is obviously their big sort of move in the offseason was they sent their number 10 draft pick, their first round draft pick to the Cowboys for Dexter Lawrence, didn't they? Oh, sorry, the Giants, Dexter Lawrence. So they got him in the middle up front, and also Jonathan Allen they signed to. So he's clearly past his best, but still quite a decent player. Obviously, they didn't want to keep him at Minnesota because he didn't think he was up to the job. So maybe that tells you a story. But they got Jonathan Allen and Dexter Lawrence in the middle of their defensive line. Clearly, they lost Trey Hendrickson, didn't they? Of course, that in the off season, he was their big superstar edge rusher. But yeah, decent team. Their defense was terrible last year. Offense has been good, but obviously their D was dreadful. And obviously, hence our sort of 47-42 win. Obviously, that fantastic Colson Loveland touchdown at the end, 56 yard or whatever it was. That was a back and forth game, but yeah, awesome. So yeah, I'm just expecting to see more of the same. Really, it'll be interesting to see our seconds against their seconds. So I can't imagine either team will play too much of their firsts. When they've got a joint practice on Thursday, you're not going to put the starters out there again on Saturday, are you? So I think we should see a bit of back and forth again because Flacco's a decent one. It'll be a bit like us on the weekend if they start Burrow, but Flacco's obviously a solid pro like Case Keenum. So, really effective, really knows his stuff, can get the reads out, go through his progressions and get the ball out. So should be a good test, I think, for our second team, whoever they're up against. So yeah, looking forward to more of the same, really. So yeah.
What time is the kickoff for us?
I can't remember. I think it's a late one, actually.
I think it's like a 12 o'clock in or something.
Yeah, I think it's a late one. Let me just check.
Could be a Sunday morning watch.
A few beers on that one then.
Yeah. Well, you'll just be starting out, won't you, mate? About 12ish at night.
Yeah. I'm off Saturday, so I'm on it.
Are you off Sunday though? That's the big one.
I am.
There'll
be some messages coming through, then some drunken day messages.
Yeah, it's midnight. Midnight kickoff for us. Midnight kickoff for us. Yeah.
Cool. So, what do you reckon? What do you reckon scoreline might be, Jason?
I don't know, mate. It's pre-season. Who knows? If we can perform similar, I'd be quite happy with that. So yeah. Pick some numbers. Pick your numbers. 38-21. There you go.
Nice. And Dave, what are your sort of final thoughts about the Cincinnati Bengals game coming up this weekend?
I think it'd be a tougher challenge than it was against the Browns. I think definitely. Both teams. I think the Bears will win. I won't be upset if we lose, though, and I'll be honest about that. I won't be upset. I just want to see all our players come through in being fit and healthy. I reckon it could be a bit of a points fest. Actually, I reckon both teams are going to be scoring in the 30s. So Bears win by a couple of points, but both teams in the 30s. So, but I just want everyone to be fit and healthy.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And also as well, straight after this game, they play against the Titans. So I think they're not coming home. I think they're using this as a bit of a road trip. So which will we go for, like squad morale and things like that. So they've obviously got a bit of a plan sort of sorted out for this pre-season. But anything else you guys would like to add before we shoot off?
I just think it's great to have Bears football back. We've got something new to talk about rather than ponder on last season. Like I said at the beginning, it was such an amazing season last year. I just hope we keep the momentum going over from what happened last season. It's got to happen.
It's got to happen, mate. It's got to happen. Any last words, Jason?
Any last words for the firing squad? Yeah, just like Dave, mate. I'm just really glad football's back. It's exciting. The season's nearly on us, and I just can't wait to see what we're going to do in this coming season. I'm just pumped for that offense, man, which is unusual to say as a Bears fan. So we're almost like ignoring the defense, but I think they're probably going to be not going to be as bad as some people are thinking. But obviously, we need to try and get as many people healthy, and that's the main thing for this preseason. Get through it unscathed as much as we can, and then get ready for week 1. And yeah, I'll be watching it in my camper van. I'll be away, so I'll be huddled round the zone on my phone or something. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, all good, mate.
Cool. So I just want to thank everybody who watched the show, everybody who's going to see it on replay, everybody who's written a comment down. Really appreciate it. Cheers, Mr. Shorty, for letting us do the show. And it's always just great to do a show with you two boys, you two Polish Southerners. So I just want to thank you guys for doing the show. And it was great just to have Bears football back. I mean, I got my tea ready and I'm ready to watch the game. And it was just really, really nice. And it was just good to see how professional the Bears played that game. So cool. Right, I think we'll leave it there. And we'll leave it on a one big fat 3. We'll leave it with the Bears down. So 1, 2, 3, bear down.
Bear down.
We are Bears. We are Bears. We are Bears. The British Bears.